Hi guys, I'm Silwolf and I'm going to show you the books that I have written in today's video. First of all, we do a few shout outs. They go to Kyla Garcia, Sebastian's Furby Arme and Shih Tzu. So I am a published author. I'm self-published. I went with lulu.com and I have published two fantasy novels called Danger in the Darkness and The Search for the SilvaGryphie. Now, I always wanted to write a book because I love writing and I've been writing since I was a kid. I started Danger in the Darkness over 10 years ago and finished it, and then I was a little bit unsure how I should proceed with publishing it. I had read that if you went self-published you could never sell your book in bookshops, so I was a little bit worried about, actually going self-published, and I tried to get an agent and things like that. This wasn't true. If you go self-published you can still have it put into a bookshop. In fact, you can go and get an agent, or try and find an agent after you've been self-published and show how well your book has been selling and things like that, even if you are self-published, and you can still have it put in bookshops. So I was a little bit worried for no reason, but it took me so long to release the first book that it was all a bit ridiculous, really. Anyway, I wrote the second book in a year. So it took me 10 years to write the first one, and the second one I wrote in a year. And it's actually, as you can see, quite a bit bigger, this is the second one here, than the first one. And I'm working on a third, but I don't really feel inspired at the moment. I kind of know what I want to happen, but it's just getting there, I suppose. So the first book is Danger in the Darkness. These are all characters I've created myself. We've got the Gryphies, which are these ones, and the Lizariuses are these ones. They're like lizard creatures, and these ones are more like dragons. And you can see there's a picture of two of the main characters fighting. The Gryphie's fire is very hot. It's so hot that it's actually blue and not normal fire colour. And there he is fighting the bad guy Zephyrak. So that's Zephyrak, that's Diablos. Metallica, there's Zephyrak again, and Lyda is she's the hero, really, of the book. So you can see there, I've done the spine and everything. I designed this cover myself, I put it all together myself, I drew it myself. And there's the bit of writing on the back. It's got its own barcode, everything. And you can explore more on gryphiesaga.co.uk. The link will be in the description for this video. So the synopsis of the first book is basically about a war. If anyone asks, I just say it's about a war. And it is about a war between these two species of creatures. The Lizariuses can't fly, and the Gryphies can fly. The Gryphies have their fire as weapons, and the Lizariuses shoot spines from their backs when they want to attack. And they basically, the spines have poison running through them, and so of course if one of them is shot at you and it lands in you, then you will get poisoned. So basically the back says, in another world, war is coming due to a foolish mistake that was made a long time ago. Diablos, the strongest fighter of the Gryphies, works to keep his gathering safe against the Lizariuses. However, with a rogue Gryphie on the loose who is making things worse, the job of his team is getting harder. His mate Lyda, having been captured and making a narrow escape, learns that in order to survive, she must stop running and train to fight as well. However, in a world full of friction and betrayal, will the Gryphies win the war or fall victim to the control of Zephyrak, leader of the Lizariuses? There is a fine line between good and bad, and the war is only just beginning. So, taking a look inside, I did actually do some artwork for inside it too, which I wanted to be in colour, but unfortunately it wasn't feasible. So we've got the design that I did there, which is like kind of the logo for the first book. And then you can see a few of the characters. So there's Lyda. And then Diablos. There's Metallica. And finally we have Zephyrak as well. Now for the first book I did actually do a book signing. The page count on the first book is 491 pages. And the page count on the second book is much more. I actually had to make the text smaller. 681. I had to make the text smaller on the second book so it would fit in to the books, because they only allow you 700 pages. So I had to make this one smaller, so the text is smaller in this one. So this one here is about a journey. So we've got, he is the one the book's about, Elendry. That's his best friend Arrow. And these two are the SilvaGryphies, and he's trying to get into the SilvaGryphie sort of flight, if you like. He can fly, and he's a very good flyer, but the SilvaGryphies will only have other SilvaGryphies in their sort of squadron. So because he's a forest Gryphie, they don't want him to join, and they tell him to go on this long and ridiculous journey, which they think he'll never make it, he'll get lost along the way. And so that gets rid of our problem. But yeah, it's a bit different, the outcome to that. And so you'll find out what happens if you read it. Again, I did my own cover for it. And there's a picture of the back cover there. This one is one of the characters, Midnight Comet. She was one of my pre-existing characters I just put in the book. So the back of this one goes, two best friends embark on a perilous and seemingly impossible journey to find the creator of the Gryphies, leaving their homes and their families behind them. Elendry driven by his passion for flight, and Arrow who has a love for adventure and exploring. The things they will encounter will change their view of the world forever, and they face new cultures and terrifying foes. Along the way they will meet surprising new friends, overcome difficult obstacles, and their friendship will be tested to the limit as Elendry accepts the challenge of a lifetime in order to achieve the life goal he so desperately seeks. Will they find the legendary SilvaGryphie, or will they die trying? So that's how the back goes on that one. And again, like with the first one, I've got its logo that I've done there. And a few pictures of the characters. There's Elendry. Obviously the main character. There's his best friend. And that's Rio and Sierra. They're the leaders of the SilvaGryphies, and also the ones that you see on the front cover. And then we've got here Lord Cernus, and he's the leader of the Windhounds, who you encounter in the book. Now the second book, obviously, it's pretty thick. And basically I gained a lot of inspiration for the second book from travelling. Places I went to in my travels and things like that when I was on holiday and stuff, which really helped with being inspired for the second book. So really, to build a good, if you're making your own world, gain inspiration from real life and just change it up a bit, you know, because it keeps it believable while also deviating into fantasy a little bit, which I think is quite important. If you're writing a fantasy book, don't make it completely ridiculous, because then it won't be believable. People will think, oh well, I can't really immerse myself in this. But if you base it on something that's real and then just tweak it a little bit, it becomes a little bit surreal, you know. So both of these are available to buy online from Lulu, which is where they're cheapest, or Amazon, or Barnes & Noble, and there's other places online that sell them as well. They're printed to demand. They're not available in bookshops just yet, but I do want to get them in there eventually, when I've worked up the courage to actually try to research this more carefully and get them into a place where they would be accepted. So I thought I'd share these. I have mentioned before about these. I've showed them in one of my other videos ages ago now, probably over a year ago, but I just wanted to do a video of them by themselves. So like I said, the website for the books is in the link in the description, where you can find out more about the characters and see some artwork and things I've done. And if you also, don't forget, if you want to buy some SilvaGryphie merchandise, I know it's not related to this video because this isn't about Furbies, but the link to my Redbubble and Teespring stores are also in the description as well. So with that being said, I will sign off and I'll see you guys later. This is Silva signing off.